Greg Mayo here, Blue Collar Real Estate. In the dress hoodie today, want to talk to you about this house here, 1713 Sycamore Drive in Plainfield, presented by Mike Ellis and Ellis and Associates. I am not the agent on this, but I wanted to talk to you about this house because we talk about opportunity houses, houses that you could do stuff to, but you don't necessarily need to move in. That's the ideal house. This one's offered at $289,900. Now, you can see we've got updated gutters, updated roof. Maybe you can't see the roof. And we've got a largely brick exterior, and the garage door's fairly new. Needs to be adjusted. That's okay. T111 on the sides. That's our first opportunity. T111 is an easy siding to change. It's basically sheets of plywood, right? So it's versatile, but if you don't dig the look, like in this little porch area, you can change it quick. Now, let's go inside and really talk about opportunity. Now, in this house, of course, we have the original front door. I know because the house was built in '76. Now, the first thing we see, it is the house of many arches and a sunken living room. Not my favorite feature. So what I'm doing is taking out these arches. Now, I'm going to be mindful of where the arches are and where the load-bearing walls are, which we could talk about at another time if you want to look at the house. And I've got to look around and see down here in one of the arch columns, there's an outlet. So I got to be thinking about moving electrical. This house is built on a crawl space. Most of the time, the electrical is running through the attic. So I'm pretty sure that the wire that services this is coming down through this wall. Okay, so I start taking stuff out. I got to be mindful of that. Also, if I want to go all the way back to here and meet that joint in the wall, I got to move these switches. And so those can just go over here. But my point is, we take these arches out and we raise this floor up to make it level. We've just changed the entire look of the entry experience, right? And it didn't take much money or time. The other thing is, now we go into the kitchen. Now, this wall here, although lovely in its own right, really serves no particular purpose if you wanted the kitchen opened into your entryway. Maybe you do. But here again, opportunity, not necessity, right? These cabinets are newer. They're not the original cabinets. And so is a countertop. So we don't have to do anything. In fact, this makes a nice little spot for a table. If you just want a little 4-person table, maybe a pub height, right? Excuse me. Love the cold season. But again, we can open this up. We can take this wall out and change the whole entry experience. Now, then we come into here. Got some little built-ins. Got a fireplace on an angle. Not my favorite. Got one in my house. But still, you can do stuff with that. We've got wainscoting here. That's that T111. That can be changed. These faux beams, those don't, hear it? Those don't do anything, so we can take them out. Now, another interesting thing they did with this house is this is technically a 4th bedroom. The best I can tell, and given the fact that the electric service panel is right here, and it is 200 amp service, original panel, by the way, from '76. But I think at some point, this entry opening was the garage entrance. And so this back here would have been part of the garage. Maybe, maybe not. Still, makes a great little office. And then we've got, as we go back through, we've got the bathroom here. Now, the benefit of this one-piece surround is that it's probably not going to leak. There's no joints, you see. The toilet's fairly new, terrific. Now, bow chicka bow wow, right? Some 1970s swirly clamshell sinks. Pretty sexy. However, they function. You know how I know? Because I haven't changed the ones in my 1978 house yet. Anyway, so again, opportunity if you want to change it. This kind of thing drives me nuts. You know, we put a butt joint here when we could have just bought a 5-foot piece, and that's baseboard. But whatever. Anyway, really, I mean, a really nice sized master bedroom. I gotta say, and then your master bath now. And new houses, everybody complains about master baths not being big enough, right? Like, how big do you need it, bro? Do you need a 12 by 12 bathroom? Probably not. This was terrific. Really unique feature for 1976 was the separate poop room, or water closet, if you want to be more fancy. 4-foot shower, just a stand-up shower, still a one-piece unit. Again, not as likely to leak. Here's your pantry. Paint the inside of that, but if you don't like the doors, you can order new doors. Did you know that? You just simply tell them what kind of hinges you got and the hinge locations and the size of the door, and you could change this whole experience. I would even go so far as to take this middle style out and just have one big door, but whatever. And then, are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Are you ready? You ready? Okay. Bam! Double clamshell. Let's go. That's so fun. We have new vinyl replacement sliders here throughout the house. Energy efficiency, way cool. As we go back down this hall, and just to give you perspective, right? You see our arches back from where we came. Here's our mechanicals, furnace, water heater. So from the sunken room, this closet, unless we really want to spend some money moving stuff around, that's going to go ahead and stay. And then we have another decent bedroom here and another decent bedroom here. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but really, I mean, I'm going to call it a 4-bedroom because you got that room in the back that could be used as a bedroom in a pinch. The other thing I want to show you is out here. Got a screened-in porch, right? And this is a deck. This isn't concrete I'm bouncing on. So, yeah, there's some, seal failure in that door and whatever, but you've got opportunity here. You could take the walls out and leave posts and have it be open, something I would consider. You can redo the T111 on the inside and the out, and something I would consider. But you've also got an already fenced-in yard, if you got dogs or kids or both, or kids that act like dogs. Mine did. Love you boys if you're watching. Anyway, but you still got a nice size yard. A nice size yard to work with. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. This is why I wanted to show you this house. When we talk about opportunity and necessity, you can get in this house for $289. I've redone houses in this neighborhood. I know what some of the changes we've talked about will do to the value of the home. And I tell you right now, they'll be more than the cost of the changes, especially if you take on some of the work yourself, get a little sweat equity. So there's an opportunity here to just move in at $289, a great price for this size house in Plainfield. But there's also an opportunity to make some changes and upgrades and personalize it and really change the whole vibe of the house with just a little bit of money. That's opportunity. The opportunity to buy a house that you can move right into without the headache of a reno at the time, but also be able to make upgrades and changes that add value, not only to your living experience, but also add value to your pocketbook, okay? Hey, look, if you want to see this house, if you want to talk through renovations and what they might do for your value or on any other property, let me know. Leave a DM down there. You can email me, gmail@highgarden.com. or send a carrier pigeon. I don't care, whatever works. But let me know if I can help you. I was in construction a long time, guys. I don't know a lot, but I know houses, and I'll be happy to teach you what I know. Have a great day.